Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome to Player Pass. What are we on? Season 3, Episode 3. Sahil, nice to see you. He was the first one in the side chat. Welcome to everybody on the panel. Andrew and Blue, thank you. Hey. Alban will not be joining us today. He's got some things going on, so thoughts and prayers to Alban. He is not going to be with us on the show. Maybe he might jump on the side chat. I don't know. We'll see. Cosmix, how you doing over there? Nice to see him.
Troublemaker.
He should jump in on a Friday night. Like, send him the link. He can jump in on a Friday night. But I know that I think sometimes he said Fridays are a difficult time for him.
We don't review porn movies, do we?
No.
Big fat onion.
Big fat onion.
I'm all for it.
Say Todd remembered from our little text back and forth.
I saw that. A lot of layers to this man right here. He's a lot of layers to him. So, how you doing, the beach?
Doing good. Nice. We had a big thunderstorm blow through, so luckily it's gone and by, so I didn't lose power.
Yeah. Well,
so that would have been fitting.
Yeah. Bad timing.
Well, everything worked out well. For anybody that's not watched the show, what we do here is we'll review 2 movies today. We have picked those last week, and so we gave everybody a week to get your 2 movies in, so we're able to watch the 2 movies, and we'll review it. The panel will talk about the movies first. Once the panel's done, we post the link, and anybody that wants to join the show can join the show. But you are more than free to post anywhere during the show on the side chat in YouTube. If you're watching this via Facebook, I actually posted the link to YouTube in amongst the comments. Join that link so that you're able to I'll be able to see, or we'll all be able to see your comments. So I would suggest that. So I will go ahead and get cranked up. One of the things that we're changed up the format on season 3. So we have a poll that's already started. Correct, Andrew?
Yes.
So
it's in the thing.
All right. So the poll, we have a poll in our Telegram group, and that is actually in the show notes below. If you look in the description for this video down below, you'll see where it says Telegram. You can actually join that group. And we have a poll that we're picking the movie for next week. So you'll be able to pick. So, and I'm going to go through the 5 movies that are on that poll. We're going to show you the IMDb thing so that you kind of get an idea of what they are, so you're able to pick. Makes it a little bit easier for if you're not familiar with a movie. And then we'll pick that movie at the end once everybody had time to vote. Everyone's got their time. And am I forgetting anything without being too long-winded? Andrew? It's just busting out. So
I've got to beat Auburn today, and I'm not as on point as he is.
Yeah, because he's got multiple. He's having to wear a lot of hats. He's got polls to keep up with.
I'm just posting silly comments in the thing. I'm not.
No, okay. So there we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let's take a look at the 5 movies that are our choices for next week. And I'm going to, share my screen. All right, so this movie comes out this Friday. Wasn't it Friday?
Babe, make us disappear so it'll go more full screen. Perfect.
Full screen. All right, so it's Mortal Kombat. This is a 2021 movie, comes out this Friday. It will be at the theaters as well as HBO Max, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, you're right.
So anybody's able to, if you have HBO Max or if you have other options, you'll be able to watch this, as most of us will be able to see this Friday. So brand new movie. So that is one of the options for next week's movie.
I'm totally stoked for that one.
Yeah.
I watched the first 7 minutes and it looks fantastic. Like, it doesn't feel campy like the old ones, you know, it feels like a good martial arts movie.
All right. This is the one of the other options. Oops. Go big screen. This is one of the other options, which was Nobody, came out last Friday. Wasn't this HBO Max also, if I'm not mistaken? So this is out. You can see it's already gotten some ratings. I know that some people have watched this and actually enjoyed it. I have not seen this one yet either.
It's from the producers of John Wick.
Okay. So that is another option. So let's get rid of that.
Woohoo!
All right.
Good week.
Yeah, we got some movies to pick from, so it's
Oh,
why we wanted.
It's nice, eh? Like, I mean, usually we're struggling to get one good movie.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why we wanted to show it this way, so you kind of have an idea of what these are. This was one that got some. It's been out for a couple months now, but it did get a few extra votes when we did the poll last week. It was one of the higher ranking ones. It didn't win, but it was one of the higher ranking ones. And we can see Liam Neeson, which looks the normal part of movie that he has, where some kid in the Arizona border and he finds a Mexican boy and it's trying to run away from the cartel. So that one. Let me remove
So Taken
that.
goes to Mexico.
Yeah, it's Taken Gone to Mexico. Basically, that's what it was. Let's see. Next pick was another new movie. This one just came out, if I'm not mistaken. The Courier. March 19th. So that came out 2 days ago. And I don't know where. Well, maybe I'm not sure if this was HBO Max. It's in theaters, but I know that it's available out for us streaming. So another. And this is a Cold War spy. Grenville Wine and his Russian source tried to put an end to the Cuban crisis.
Cuban Missile Crisis?
Yeah, Cuban Missile Crisis. So
Actually, that was one of my favorite movies back in the day was, what was it called? The 13th Day? And that was one where they had, it was Kennedy and his brother trying to basically sidestep that Cuban Missile Crisis. That was a freaking great movie.
And then this was the one that's popped up a couple weeks, but it's never made it to the top of the list. It gets a couple votes, but it does not make it.
Yeah,
it doesn't make it all the way up. So that is the other movie. So those are the 5 movies that we all have, that everybody has an opportunity to pick. And again, we're giving anybody that's on the Telegram group an opportunity, and whatever is voted the highest, gets the most votes, we will pick that movie as the current movie to watch, along with Sharon gets a pick this week, so it should be her pick for next week also. So we'll have the 2 movies for next week. So, all right. So I got that all cleared up. Everything's out of the way on that one.
Yep, that's awesome.
All right. So, all right. So got that out of the way. Hey, Kyle. What's up? Nice to see Kyle. Nice to hanging in the chat. Got Roger, Diana. Nice to see a lot of our regulars over here in the side chat. Great. So let's go ahead and get cranking.
Yeah, Patty Raya was a good movie. Definitely.
Do we want to be? Who wants
to be?
To
we're going to beach first and new movie last.
Oh, okay.
That's the format.
All right. Hold on a second. I got to pull. Let me get the.
Just while Todd's doing that, the polls for these 2 movies are also in the Telegram. They're pinned.
Awesome.
On the pinned thing. Thanks to Auburn.
Yep. Let's see. So let me go. That's full screen, right? Okay. So this is what. Who wanted to be first? I can't. I've got you guys minimized. So you'll have to tell me who's talking.
Jeez, a man called Ovi got 100%. That's a lot of people voted too. 11 votes.
All right. So
I only pick good movies,
All right. All right. So, Big Fat Onion, since you picked this movie, this was your pick, your final pick. You get to be first or last on this movie. Which would you like to be?
I'll for once I'll go last and listen to you guys.
Okay.
Complain about.
All right. Andrew or Blue, do either one of you two want to go first, or I'll go first? I don't care.
I don't know. We can't put our hands up because I can't see us.
I can see you guys.
We can't. I can't see. I just see big screen. Man called Ove. There we go.
I can see. All right. Well, I was trying to make sure we saw.
Andrew,
them
you
all.
can go ahead first if you want, or Todd, you can go first for once if you want.
All right.
Why don't we go down like you, Andrew, me?
Okay.
Each.
All right. I'll go. This movie. All right. So I'm going to tell you the things I didn't like about it, and I'll tell you the things I did like about it. The things I didn't like about it is I had to read the whole damn time. It's like reading a book. You got to. And the thing about when you're watching a movie with subtitles is you can't look away from the damn thing.
Which
You
is awesome.
can't. You can't piddle on your phone. You can't play no Candy Crush. You can't piddle over here at the computer while the movie's playing, because if you're not looking at the screen to know what the heck is going on, you don't know what's going on. So that is something that I didn't like about the movie. Just joking. It didn't. I didn't mind it. It is kind of interesting. You do have to pay attention. This movie, a emotional roller coaster of a movie, and I love those kind of movies. I like that feel of. I like those movies that is a reach into real people, because if you ever met somebody you really just didn't like, just has a bad disposition, just kind of a hateful person, that is Ove in a way. He's got a really bad disposition, but kind of like the Onion down here who had picked the movie. Once you get through the layers, you figure out why some of those layers are there, to find out that there is a really genuine person in there. And again, I like these kind of movies because it's real. That's real, and a lot of times on a personal side, that's why a lot of times I try to make connections with people, because sometimes people are like, oh, they're this, they're that, or this. But a lot of times if you get through that layer, you find out there's a really good person in there, and sometimes you just kind of push through or peel back. That's what this was about. He was like the neighborhood police, and making sure everyone's following the rules. And it was just because he was an unhappy person. But once he found some purpose and people forced him to actually live, because he wasn't living, but once he was forced to live, he actually found the joy of life. And I just love these kind of stories. So other than having to read, and these little kids, it kind of they're the ones that actually broke through peel back some of those early onions, the layers. That's what I really like. So for me, I thought the music to me in this movie gave you the music played very well with the movie, so you knew when things were feeling a certain way, and because of the music. So I thought the script was great, story was great, music. I thought everything. I like it that I like movies that I'm laughing on it, and that I like the movies when my allergies kick up. So, yeah, the allergies kicked up a little bit on that one.
It got a little teary.
Well, there's a lot of pollen in the air around here, so I'm going to blame it on that. So that's my thoughts. That was my opinion on that movie. So,
Awesome.
Andrew, what you think?
Well, I'm gutted because I can't think of anything bad about this movie. I was so prepared to rip into the Beach's last movie pick, but unfortunately, I liked it. You were saying that you couldn't take your eyes away from it because of all the reading, which is true. But I was actually doing the dishes while I was watching this, so I did miss a couple of bits of text. Well, I feel like I've seen this type of story before, like grumpy old man meets young person who invigorates his love for life again. But I think this one was told really well, because he just wanted, he's not like the typical, wasn't like the typical old grumpy man that you see in movies before. He's just like, you'd say he still had a bit of kindness about him. It's because he still did stuff for people, and he still he wasn't like bitter about every single thing. You could see he still had he was still like a kind person inside. He was just really sad because obviously he'd lost his wife. I didn't realize there was going to be like attempts on his like suicide attempts on this, so that kind of like I skipped the first couple of parts of that because that's like a bit close to home for me, especially like some of the stuff he was doing at the start. So, but then when I realized it comes as part of the movie, I was like, right, there's no getting away from it. So I just watched it. I felt sad for him, or I felt really, really sad for him because, I feel sad for anybody that has to feel like they have to do that. But when the neighbours moved in next door, I think he saw that young couple is what him and his wife could have been like if they had their child. And I liked how he was just like he wasn't bitter to the kids straight away. Do you know how like in some of these movies that you've seen that the old guys just like totally resistant to be nice to kids and stuff like that, and pets and animals and stuff like that, which he is a little bit to the cat and stuff.
Yeah, he didn't like the dog.
And the dog,
Like that little dog.
I wouldn't like that dog. What a little shit that thing was.
I mean, that's my favorite line is that's not a dog. It's a winter boot with eyes.
Yeah. Winter boot. Yeah. I liked how he helped. There was always an excuse for him not to take his life and go and be with his wife, and then he kept telling her, "I'll be with you soon," and then he goes, "But first, I've got to help."
Yeah.
The lady it was the lady across the street. Then it was his old friend, and also the young boy who like delivers his paper ended up being was one of our students or something, and he needed help fixing the bike that he put away.
And then the gay kid there, and
yeah, that was the guy's friend, and then like later on in the movie, like the attempts that he made on his life were kind of comical. He did the whole sitting in the car with a pipe thing, and he's just like going to sleep. And then the one with it's sad that he was trying to take his life, but the one with the shotgun, I kind of chuckled at a bit because he had put all the plastic sheets up around the house so he wouldn't make a mess.
And took off his suit this time, like he had the whole full suit when he was going to hang himself.
He didn't want to mess anything up.
Yeah.
He wanted to make the least mess possible with like the one thing that's going to make the most mess possible. And I liked I had a little chuckle as well at how he fell out with his friend. Like they just fell out over like who had the better model of car.
Well, he couldn't believe that because he was a Saab. When he was a Saab,
he was a Saab.
He was a Saab, and the guy was a Volvo. And then they kind of go to make up at the end. He's like, "Oh, you want to see my new car?" And he's like, "It's a BMW," and he just walks away.
That was it. When he came out with the BMW, that was it.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. There was a lot of good things in there. I liked the way the story was told, and I did a couple of things chuckle. That was some of the stuff I've mentioned, and also the bit where he has the heart attack, and you think, "Oh, that's it. That's like finally that's it. That's gonna be the end of his story." And then they get in there, and the nurse says to the woman, "Oh, he's got a big heart or something," and she starts laughing because he's saying he can't even kill you. But it's just the irony of him having a big heart, which is kind of true, really. Yeah, I like the whole story. I like the way it was told, and it wasn't too hard to follow the text. The only thing I would have changed in it was at the end, when he finally does die, and then he wakes up on the train. I probably would have had him being his younger self and her being her younger self, because obviously he's fine because the character's an old guy, but was just the young actress in like made it look old, and it didn't look right. It didn't look right to me. It should have just been her as her young self, and him as the guy who plays the younger version of him, and that probably would have been better. There was a thing with the cat as well. That's the last thing I'll say. The thing with the cat. I don't know if anybody else picked up on it, but when she first meets him on the train, and he's on about how he always takes the train. I think she mentioned something about in the book. There's a cat that rides the train all the time, or something like that. I think that cat was like just like
her.
That's what I took it as.
And see how it was on him when he died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even when he took it into the house and he's lying in bed and he finally he's just like starts stroking it and stuff when it's asleep and it opens its little eyes.
Sleeping on her pillow.
Yeah, it was a good movie. It was nicely told. Well done, The Beach. Well done.
Yeah. All right.
When he's, I'm
Blue?
thinking Babe the Pig. Well done, well done.
I love that movie too, actually.
Well done, Big Fat Onion. You done
All
good.
right. What about you, Blue?
I loved it. I love the way it was told. I love how you dislike him from the get-go just because of the way he is, just his, how he is. It's like you can't blame him for being set in his ways because that's the way he was raised. He was always like that. It wasn't like, he became that when he became old and crusty. He was always very set in his ways, although she broke him down a little bit once she was in his life. But he was still always very, by the book, and things had to be perfect. And yeah, that's just the way. It was so cute too. I love the part where he'd made the counters lower for her because she loved to cook. Like just all the bookshelves, like when she's putting all her books in and he says to her like, oh my God, how many books do you have? And she basically says, well, I got more over here and more over there. But he starts building another bookshelf for her. Like it was adorable. I like how they told his backstory little by little in conjunction with all his new stuff too, so that you started to love him more and more. And then when he was babysitting the girls there, and he was like talking to the little girl like she was normal, not like a child, when they were talking about, building a house and stuff. And then when the parents come home and the one's on the computer and he's sitting there with the other one asleep on him. Like there was just so many moments in it. There were funny moments. There were so many heartfelt moments. I loved everything about it. Like, and it was like, I love the fact that every single one of his suicide attempts was thwarted by somebody else. Like this scene right here where he was going to jump in front of a train and this guy friggin', I don't know if he had like a seizure or whatever, and falls on the train tracks, totally ruins it for him.
But he had to rest. But the thing was, he was a good person because he had to rest. He felt the need to have to rescue that guy that fell on the tracks. He's like, I got to rescue him. And he's like, stands there at the train, and all these people are looking. And he's thinking, I can't kill myself. These people are looking at me. And,
it was just amazing the way that all came to be, where he wasn't meant to die. He had more stuff to do. He had more things he could do for people. And I just loved his relationship with the lady that lived across the street too, though, because she was hilarious. Because do you remember when she was yelling at him when the cat was cold, like looked like the cat was going to die, and she yells at him. And it's the first time ever where somebody yelled at him where he went like, oh crap, and listened. And it was funny. I loved it. I loved it. The Beach. Thank you.
Well, good. Glad you enjoyed it.
Okay. So The Beach, your thoughts? You picked this movie, so
this was like number 8 on my list, but I figured it's a really good film, and I think everybody, if you like films or movies that have a good story, I think then you would like this film. And then plus, with, like I said last week, Tom Hanks has bought the rights to this, and he is going to make his version of it. And I just, to me, why do you screw with perfection?
Exactly. I agree. I agree. It's not. It won't be as good.
Tom Hanks is a great actor, but I just really think, I don't know. I think it's just really going to screw it up. I mean, the movie starts out with, you really don't like his character. He's like a prick, and there's like no reason to like him. But as the story goes on, it's like a story of redemption. But then as you look at it, it's really just a love story. He misses his wife so much, he doesn't want to live because she's gone. Because, I mean, everything in his life, his mom died when he was little. His dad gets hit by a train when he's a teenager. He gets married. They go on a trip. His wife gets crippled and loses the baby. And, I mean, loses his job after 43 years, and they give him a freaking garden shovel as a party present. Here, thanks for your 43 years of loyal service. Here's a garden shovel. I mean, what was that? Go dig your own grave and bury yourself in it. But, I mean, the parts with, when he tries to hang himself, the rope breaks. He goes back to the store, to to complain about that. When they go to the hospital, the
wait,
girls-
sorry, to beach. You know, my favorite part of that part is she's like, well, what did you use it for? And you could see the rope mark on his neck when he's standing there.
Yeah. And then the parts with getting the people in the car, and he has newspapers because he loves his sob like nothing else. Nobody's gonna mark it off. Then he teaches her how to drive, and they pull into their parking spot, and he's like, good. And he's like, but I hit that car, and he goes, it's a Volvo. You know? Yeah, he didn't care. He cares about his seats, but she runs in a parked car, but he doesn't care that they hit it because it's a Volvo, because that's how much he hates Volvos. But I mean, it's just a really good story. And the thing that really gets you is when they're coming back at the end of the movie from the funeral, they all come from the gate. They close the gate, and the little girl turns around to come back and do the little check like he did every morning, you know, on his routine. I think it's if you love good movies with a good story, then I think you would like this movie.
This is definitely a must watch.
Well, it was kind of remember when he was walking, and then the gay guy says, "Well, can I walk with you?" And he's like, "Well, you know," because he was upset because his routine was messed up because he normally walked before the coffee, and he's like, "I want you to have your coffee. I fixed your breakfast." And he's like, "Okay, fine." And he gets to a point, he's like flustered because you've messed up his routine. And he's like, I'm going to walk. And the guy's like, can I walk with you? And he's like, well, yeah. And then the fat guy he goes, well, I'm going to start exercising. And he's like standing beside him. And they walk over there to the pole. And, you know, the old guy like kicks the pole. And then the fat guy goes over there, kicks the pole and like checking. So it's like, oh, he's like teaching, he's like passing it on. I thought that was really unique. Really
I mean, the one where he collapsed in the middle of the roadway and she's kneeled down and he looks up and he says, don't let the ambulance drive on the pathway, you know, because he hated people driving on the pathway. There he is, could be dying. Don't let the ambulance drive on the pathway. There's so many little bits like that. When the newspaper reporter comes to interview him, and she shuts her in the garage and she's pounding and the neighbor's like, what do you think? What are you doing?
Yeah, so, you think she's just going to disappear?
Exactly. There's so many little things that I just think it's a great movie. Yeah. And I hope Tom Hanks doesn't ruin it, but I just don't have high hope.
The Sweets make good stuff. Like there's a few things that I love. The Bridge, the TV series, and then of course the UK went and made a spin-off version called The Tunnel. And then there was a Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the trilogy there, the Millennium Trilogy. That was fantastic. And then, of course, the Americans had to go and make a version of that. It's like, sometimes you just got to leave stuff alone.
Yeah. So, okay. So we got that movie out of the way. Let's go ahead and get, go ahead and start the, let's see. So.
Chaos Walking.
Yep. So let me. All right. Chaos Walk. Well, not learn Spanish. Chaos Walking. So we got this was voted on because it's a current movie. So it came out just a few weeks ago. So this was a movie we picked. Maybe we should have picked Nobody last week. But Chaos Walking. Who would like to be first? Miss Shan, go ahead.
Okay. So when I first started watching this, it made me think of Firefly because Firefly is cowboys and it's spaceships. So it's kind of like, you know, got a Firefly feel to it. That's about as far as that went. I found it really dry. I found it quite boring. I really liked how neat it was when their thoughts came out and stuff. And oh my God, if he says his name is Todd Hewitt. I'm Todd Hewitt. I'm Todd Hewitt. My name is Todd Hewitt. It's like, oh my God, everybody, Todd Hewitt. They must have said that 50. You could have a good drinking game if every time they say Todd Hewitt on here, you have a drink.
No, well, if you saw in the telegram, because I watched it the second time, and there's my little score sheet. He says, I'm Todd Hewitt 116 times.
There we go. You'd be bombed.
Because I went back the second time because I made that remark in Telegram about after like the 15th time when he said, I'm Todd, I had a flashback to Bad Words when Jason Bateman was burning Todd the book And I kept having flashbacks.
I had no
to
problem with
that.
him saying it over and over.
It was kind of like Titanic for me, where Jack and Rose. They said Jack and Rose so many times. It was like, okay, we get it. We get that's their names. Like, you don't need to. But anyways, I did like how you could see their thoughts and stuff. I think the reason I was disappointed is in the very beginning when he goes back into the town there and he's going to tell them about what's going on. Or I guess it's before that. First time he goes into town, and he does when he says snake, and this big huge snake comes over his head and scares the guy off his horse.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, okay, that is kind of cool. Like maybe they're going to be using that like later on, but they really didn't. It was like, and you're taught that there's these alien species on the planet. First of all, they are the aliens because they're from outer space. All these people. So the aliens aren't aliens; they're aliens. But so you're told that basically, all this bad shit happened because of these aliens. But meanwhile, he meets an alien and stabs it a bunch of times. And then the alien goes away and you never talk about the aliens again. It was like, okay, a little more backstory with that, a little more, and at least have him say out loud, oh, maybe they're not bad. Or maybe I was, it was like there was that guy, the crazy priest dude, he drove me nuts because he was like this raving lunatic, which he didn't fit in with everything else. Like you got Mads Mikkelsen, who I love him, but the mayor or whatever, the main guy, the bad guy, it was like, he's the bad guy, he controls everybody, but then you have this crazy dude that basically doesn't do nothing except act crazy, and then in the end asks her to light him up on fire and kill me. It just was so all over the place for me, and most of the stuff with him and her was just boring. And if I was her, I would have dropped Todd Hewitt's ass because he can't hide anywhere because his brain's constantly going. And then you see like when he got shot at the end and he's like hiding. He can't hide. You see his Todd Hewitt thoughts. Like it was like, oh my God, somebody shoot me now. So I didn't like it. I wanted to like it. I was just bored. I was thoroughly bored with it. I needed more cool brain action going on. I guess after the snake thing, I thought, maybe no. So that's me.
Okay. Andrew?
Yeah. I kind of agree with Shan. When I first started, the noise, it was a bit annoying at first. I was like, I can't concentrate on what's going on here because there's so much but then once you watch it for a little bit, you're like, right, that's not too bad. Actually, I kind of like that idea, and I like the idea for the movie. The only problem, which is kind of the big problem, is that the story was shit and the story was boring. There's just nothing. There was just a plain, simple get from A to B to C to the end, and that was it. And it was just like Sean said, the alien things. You saw one alien thing once, and then you never saw them again, and there was no story behind them or nothing. There was nothing to tell you why the women's thoughts, why the women's thoughts weren't coming out. Why it was only the men. There was no explanation with that. I'm trying to think what else I didn't like about it. God. Well,
Todd Hewitt.
That didn't bother us too much because I was prepared for it because I'd seen the Beaches posts. And obviously that was his way of trying to stop his. It's funny, that's his way of trying to stop his thoughts, but it's a thought because he's thinking his name.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's always, the noise is always there. I did like the idea of the noise was really good, and I thought, they could make a decent movie out of this, but they just fucked it up with the story. It was just boring. It just wasn't going anywhere. It was just like, right, we've got to go to this town, and then they get to this town and find out, they realize, oh, look, there's women here. And then they say, we don't have any equipment. You have to go to another town, and then they go to the other town, they found the ship and blah, blah, blah. And then it's just like, it was boring. I like Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, she's cute.
She's just beautiful, beautiful woman. And I like what's his name? Spider-Man.
Tom Holland.
Tom. Hewitt. I like them both as actors, but they kind of had good chemistry in this movie. But it was just the story was just crap. I just couldn't get. It was boring, like Shan said. You just was just so boring to follow, and I wouldn't have if I didn't have to watch this for this show, then I probably would have turned it off because just nothing pulled us into it, nothing grabbed us, and nothing like made us interested in it enough to want to watch it all the way through. The only reason I watched it all the way through was because I have to talk about it.
Damn player pass show.
Yeah. We've got nobody else to blame but ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't think I picked this movie, to be fair.
I didn't.
I voted for something else. It was something else I was going to say as well. Obviously, another sucky part of the movie was the dog had to die, didn't it? The bloody dog had to die.
That was the only part that made me sad, actually.
We were like, oh no, we've got another Auburn Fresh situation going on here. I mean,
you know me.
Nowhere near as bad as that, but still, that sucked. Just like they didn't explain enough, and it just it seemed like it was a rushed movie. It just seemed like they got near the end of the production and were like, we've really got to rush the end of this movie, and they did. That's just the way it came across. I mean, for fuck's sake, the people come down from the ship and they're like, oh, we're going to stay. And you're thinking, hold on a second. Are you not thinking that there might be more men like this guy who think, oh, I don't like the fact that these women know everything that we can think, but we can't hear them? Do they not think there's some people? How many people did they say was on that ship? 4,000 people
4,
or something?
Yeah, 4,000.
It's just like, yeah.
Maybe we're going to keep them all asleep because they said they were in hibernation.
Yeah. That probably would have been best for them. Yeah. I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like that picture. Daisy Ridley looks so nice in dungarees.
Well, and I mean, I think Mads Mikkelsen says at one point, I can teach you to hone your power and whatever. Yes. I'm really, I mean, Tan was saying it's a book series, so I don't know if maybe they were planning on making more than one movie, then maybe you would see him whatever. But it was like he ended up being
not after this.
And that's another thing as well. You could see where the movie was going halfway through it. You knew who killed the women. You knew it wasn't those alien things. And it was just too predictable. It was too predictable of a story, and it just, it sucked. That's it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, De Beach, your thoughts?
I wanted to like this movie because I like this genre, but it's like they took a good book and then Hollywood totally screwed it up. I mean, there were 6 screenwriters for this movie. Oh. Okay, it was filmed. The movie was shot in 2017. They did a screening. It was so bad, they made them go back in 2018 and do $15 million worth of reshoot to try and fix it because it was so bad. So that's because Tom Holland, he was trying to start in the movie 1917, but he couldn't do 1917 because he had to go back and do the reshoots on this show.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, there you go. It was filmed in 2017. It's just coming out now. And like they said, it's based on 3 books. And it was like somebody got the cliff notes for the book and then ignored some of the key parts of the book. Because, like I said, the whole thing with the spackle, they could have made half the movie on the relationship between the settlers and the spackle. They didn't. You saw maybe 5 minutes. There was a fight scene. You saw a village. That was it. In the book, the animals also give out noise. So the dog could communicate with Todd Hewitt via, So all the animals like that, the male, and also in the book, the way they're taught is that the spackle carried germs, and that's what killed the women and gave the men the noise. So, and it's like they totally ignore all that, So it's like,
Well, and the thing is too, the beach, like, I don't know if you remember when they're first landing, when Daisy Ridley's first landing, they're not even anywhere near the spackle, right? They're just entering orbit, and all of a sudden the guy's thoughts are already coming out. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know, right away, it wasn't based on these alien germs. There weren't any alien germs.
right. But see, because in the book in Prentice Town, they enslaved the spackle to do the farming and all that stuff for them. So there was a bigger relationship between them, and they totally ignore all that, you know, in the movie. So they basically screw everything up. And I mean, so he sees a girl for the first time, and the only thing he can think about her in his mind is a kiss. You know? No. Oh, look, what are those things on her chest? Ooh, look at her ass, you know? So
Yellow hair.
Yeah. So I mean, that was it. Yellow hair, and she has a high voice and a kiss. So I mean, they took what could have been a great story and just,
I know we could have imagined her naked or something. That would have been better.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
that anything other than a kiss. So I mean,
Good thing she wasn't listening to my thoughts if I'd have been on that planet.
Yeah.
man, well, I mean, I would last
Could have
long.
changed the
Somebody
rating
could
of the
read
movie,
my
that's
thoughts
for
at the time. I wouldn't last long.
We'd have been
either.
on Pornhub with that one.
So yeah, I mean, it's like they took what really could have been a good movie or a series of movies, and they just totally screwed it up.
The Beach, did you ever watch Aragon?
Yeah,
Did you ever read those books?
No, I'm not I'm not a big book person.
Okay.
I just
like,
I was just reading about the movie.
This reminds me, because the book was really, really good. The trilogy book, all the books were so good, and the movie was absolute garbage. They completely ruined it. It was like,
I never read the books, but I did watch the movie, and I thought it was okay.
oh,
I
the
was
books are-
I was expecting another one, and it never came.
yeah, no, the movie was garbage compared to the book. Maybe because I'd read it, I didn't. It was just like,
That's the problem, though. That's the problem. It's very hard to find a movie that's as good as the book it's made from.
Lord of the Rings, better than the books.
Well, except for Lord of the... Okay, fine. Lord of the Rings.
No, I know
Fine.
it's a rarity. Usually,
Well, I
it's
don't know that. I
as
didn't
good
really
or
rate
not
The
as
Hobbit.
good. The Hobbit, Hobbit Extended. I didn't like the original Hobbits, the three of them, but the extended versions of them made them better. Just like the extended versions of Lord of the Rings. Oh.
This guy in the picture here, they really rammed his story into the last few seconds, didn't they?
Yeah.
You're like, God, why is he nice, so powerful like that? And he's like a witch.
Because of God.
Person? But
It was
then
always
it's like,
because God
and
was
then
telling
he's
him
just
this.
busy. He was like, I can't hear God over all the noise, so kill us.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Todd?
all right.
DeBeach, you done?
Yes, I'm done.
For me, I think that I'm same thing that everybody else said. I thought that there was a lot of that. The part where Blue said about that when the snake came out. So the mayor had that ability to create the other thoughts to make it real. Todd's uncle had where they thought that the girl was coming out and he could make her look real. So that was that. And then Todd at the end brought the women that had died. He brought them up to confront the mayor. There was those bits and pieces, and that's where I think the movie should have focused more with that power. And as everyone says, I felt that it just went a different direction.
Because it was just all rambling.
Yeah.
There was no thoughts that contributed to the plot.
And if you could have done the sci-fi-ish powers of your brain and played on that and been doing the cat and mouse with your brain power of, you're there, no, you're over there. It could have played in so much. They only did that one time, and that was at the barn when his uncle got shot. That was the only time that they did it. So I love sci-fi movies. It had a lot of potential, but fell completely flat. So
I saw a critic called it boredom walking.
Yeah, it was something.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to really kind of cracked me up was when she starts to read his mom's journal to him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was like the shortest journal in history. It was like maybe
it's because she died.
It was like, I guess, the I guess it was the paperback version of Twitter. You know, it could only be like 100 freaking words. Here's your mom's journal. Yeah, there's like 30 words in it. So
Better run out of time. Daldum posted in here, and I thought this was a chaos of thoughts in our heads is constant. Let us try to control it. That was what the movie had her thinking is about, being able to control your thoughts, and maybe
like
that
with
is
anxiety, you know, not being able to control their thoughts.
Yeah, but it just seemed to me there was just it had potential and fell flat. And yes, when you guys talk about books and movies, Ready Player One, which I loved that book. Movie, it was okay. I mean, not a bad movie. It was all right. The book, not that I read it, I did the audiobook.
Ender's Game book, fantastic. Movie, not so much.
Yeah, so that happens.
What's that, Andrew?
Hunger Games?
I actually like the movies, Hunger Games. Yeah. At least the first one.
Yeah.
First one was good.
So, yeah, it leaves books have so much more time. They got a lot of time to work a lot of stories. And movies, you know, you're cramming that into an hour and a half to 2 hours. So, but yeah, I do feel like this, and it does make sense where the Beach said that there was numerous people working on this and screenwriting. Yeah, I can see where there was too many hands, too many cooks in the kitchen will mess up the soup or whatever that is, whatever that saying is. So, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post the link here in so anybody that would like to join the panel, and then you can give us your thoughts. You can turn your camera on, turn your camera off, as long as you have a microphone that can.
I haven't seen Sharon in the chat.
Sharon said that she had sent me a message and said that she had some family things that she was going to try to make it.
But I have seen Penn, so it might be Penn instead.
Okay, so we'll see.
One thing, Blue, just because today is Secretary Appreciation Day. So for you and Auburn, for you, Blue, I got you a lovely bottle of America's finest wild Irish rose wine.
Oh my gosh!
So you can
Irish rose.
You can drink it or remove rust, paint, or unclog drains. You know, do that. And then for Auburn, I got him a lovely thing of crispy between donuts, but some fat fuck ate them all already.
Yeah, fat fucks, you can't. They're everywhere.
Oh my god!
I will say as well. Speaking of Auburn, he voted play for both movies, so I'm a bit disappointed that we can't hear why he voted play for Chaos Walking. That would have been interesting, but never mind.
We would have talked him out of it if he had been here.
No, I think. Okay, I voted for Play. It's a horrible movie, but out of everything that we've been coming out lately versus Godzilla, Thunder Force, I like this. That's why I give it a Play based on the other two movies that we'd seen.
I'm basing everything on what it is, and this is a pass for me.
So I sent the link to, we got some people in here. Let's see. Roger, welcome to the show. Your thoughts on our two movies this week?
Well, since we did Chaos Walking last, I'll start with it. I like the movie. I'm a big sci-fi fan. And it made me go out and order all three of the books. So they'll be here later this week. I'll read those, and I'll probably enjoy it 10 times more than I did the movie. But I did enjoy the movie. I thought that, just like the other boys on the panel said, in my teenage years, I would have had to say Roger Kaiser 116 times to keep boobies and butts out of my thoughts. That was that. I'm sure that's why he was saying his name over and over again, because he just didn't want boobs flashing in his thoughts constantly. I think that the story was bad. I'll give you that. But it made me want more the rest of the story. It made me want it so much that I went and ordered 3 books. So I'll read the books, and I don't think it's hard for me to not like science fiction movies. So it got a play for me in the poll. And the other one, A Man Called Ovi, I absolutely loved it. The only thing that you guys didn't mention out of the whole show is how beautiful the cinematography was in it. It was absolutely stunning. I don't know. I don't know the last. You're waiting for Penn to talk about that. Yeah, me and Penn are the cinematography dorks. But it was a beautiful movie. The story was awesome. You hated him at first. He was a lovable curmudgeon by the middle of it, and the suicide attempts were dark humor, and I enjoy dark humor. That little bitty rope and that little hook that he was hanging himself on. I knew neither one of those were going to hold up to that big old Obi body that he had going on. And I like the interaction with children and the interaction with the Iranian wife next door was great. And yeah, I mean, he was just in so much pain from losing his wife that it kind of explained why he was the way he was, and it was a great movie. The Beach, thanks for turning me on to it. I'm not going to watch the Tom Hanks one because I already seen a good one.
Yeah.
And that's about all I have for today. You guys did a good job rating all the movies. I'm sorry you didn't like Chaos Walking, but I liked it.
All right. All right.
You're allowed.
Let's see. We got Penn.
Yes. How everybody doing?
I'm doing well.
All right. So Chaos Walking was a nice watch. I have to read the books, I guess, to fully understand the story to it. But one of the things that was highlighted in this film was the play on gender roles, like the expectations. The main character, Top Holland, he's expected to carry out and act a certain way in the movie. You know, when he's questioned about, hey, do you know where the girl is? They know he's up to something because in the movie the thoughts are wild and they're everywhere. That's one of the things that stood out was it was a unique effect on screen, and it was letting sort of like the viewer know that you really can't get away with too much when it comes to the men. The men are dangerous in this film because not only can they sort of try to deceive you, but their thoughts are going to tell you the real truth of the matter. Versus when it came to the girl towards the beginning, you really couldn't understand or couldn't really get a vibe with her. That's what he was talking about when it was in the forest. Like he couldn't get a read on her. So she was just as dangerous as the men were in that regard. I did like the cinematography scenes. One scene that stood out was the horseback riding scene. The chase. I always like chase scenes in movies. I felt like that was well executed. The visual effects was pretty interesting. I felt like the story, in terms of the script writing, it did travel through a whole lot of people, and yeah, it was a little bit of like mumbo jumbo. Felt like the script needed to be reworked some, maybe stay true to the book, to the original, maybe integrate some more scenes, or it could have been a more success if it was longer than it was. Uh, I wasn't quite sold on the on the romance. I know that they sort of touched on it in the film, but
Mm-hmm.
in times it felt like it was a little too cheesy. You know, like, oh, okay, well, he's constantly thinking about it. Okay, of course he likes her, but I felt as
Well,
though
they always
they
been
could have.
looking at his men the whole time. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
not a lot of options.
So, well, and in the books, they're both 12 years old.
Ah,
Oh.
okay, interesting.
I started loving
That
girls.
actually-
I loved girls in kindergarten, so my thoughts still would have been boobs.
Yeah, I feel like this was a decent watch though. I mean, I'm in a sci-fi, so I'm going to support it and get the books and see what it's really about. I think it was a nice shot at a story, but could have been improved. Let's say that.
Mm-hmm.
For a man called Alf, this was very good in the sense of the storytelling, and I had to rethink this because originally I'm not a stranger to subtitles because I watch foreign content all the time. But in terms of the storytelling here, I mean, this one was quite the interesting one out of the two. Of course, one of the themes of this film is memory and grief. The main character he's driven by suicide because he's saddened over his late wife. We know that this is huge in the film because a lot of the actions and the motivation and the inspiration of him doing the right thing was through his memory of his wife. So this was a film I think of about love, family, community. It was about him working through his demons in a sense, because one part of the film where he was going to hang the rope, clearly he was suicidal, and he always got out of the situations in which he was going to kill himself, and he always found a way to still live and move on, even though things were difficult. I think one of the things that this film teaches the audience is always sort of like believe in yourself, but have a sort of like support system in mind as well. Like his support system was his mic, but he still kept the memory going on. So the movie taught like a lesson in the sense of just keep the love, keep the positivity, and hold on to the memories, but don't let the memories haunt you in a sense. And that's what I got out of it. Great watch.
Good point. Good point. Mr. Eddie, what's up? Thank you for joining.
Hi, y'all. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. You want some snow? I got some outside. Okay, let's get down to business now here. Watching Chaos Walking. I'm not into sci-fi, okay? But I found it mind-boggling. I couldn't really get into it because, you're reading other people's thoughts. And the story didn't have any body to it. I couldn't really get into it. But what really turned me off was when I saw that one of the Jonas brothers was in there. I think it's Nick Jonas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that turned me off because my kids work with this guy and they hate him. So, no, I didn't really like it. It didn't really get into it. The one I really loved was a man called Ove. I found it sad. I found it happy. I found it funny, and I found it with pity. It had everything. The guy wanted to commit suicide. He said, he tried 3 times, and he flunked 3 times.
No, he tried more than that.
Yeah.
Because he tried to hang himself twice, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
shotgun and car.
Yeah, then the car
okay.
and then the train.
Yeah.
So it was like 5.
But the sequence where he goes back in time and he meets a girl on the train, and then he goes off and he gets married and all. I love that. That was nice. But what I really found sad when he went to the cemetery and he lied down beside her, I found you have to give pity to the guy.
Yeah.
He's not a bad guy, but he just wants to go with his wife. Like he could have walked out like his dad did and get hit by a train, but he didn't try that. But another thing I liked about that, because I've been in Sweden. I was in Sweden in 1997, and there was a part where they showed an old bike. I think it was green. The bike was green. It was an old bike. I think it was 1916 or something like that, where people in Sweden love bikes.
Yeah.
Bikes, everybody rides a bike. And they keep the bikes in good shape. Another thing is when they had when his friend, he had a Volvo and he was with a Saab.
That was funny.
That was funny because when I was in 1997, people hated Volvos. And Volvo was made in Sweden because I think that was just bought out by Ford or somebody else. But that movie, I'd recommend, like Todd, you said you were having trouble reading it. Well, I was having trouble reading, but as I got to a point where I didn't have to read it. I could read feel it, what was going on, just by the action he was doing. But I really highly recommend this movie. This was a good movie.
All right.
That's all for me.
All right. Thank you, Eddie. Daldum, thank you for joining us.
Daldum.
Yeah, hey.
Hey.
Oh,
There
he's
you go.
unmuted now.
I forgot
There
to
you go.
unmute myself.
It's all
Yeah.
good.
Hello.
Howdy.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess I was so passionate about this movie, Chaos Walking, and oddly enough, it was a shit movie in terms of the writing and the way they put the movie together. But I couldn't help think about the man, us as people. Just starting with, we can't control our thoughts, and daily the amount of thoughts we have. And I'm thinking of this kid, like, and he kept saying, I am Todd. I should remember it, but I can't right now. Todd,
Hewitt.
whatever.
Todd Hewitt.
Todd Hewitt. I'm Todd Hewitt. I'm Todd Hewitt. Try saying that 1,000 times, and take a drink after, as somebody said. And how difficult that is. And the sheriff or the mayor, why it is that soon as they realize that the woman could read their thoughts, because they can't control the woman anymore, they had to kill them. That's basically it.
And yeah, what if you could see people's thoughts?
No thanks.
Nobody. Yeah, but I'm saying that people couldn't hide behind a fake front.
Yeah.
Be a different society. That's for damn
Yeah, it
sure.
sure would.
But that's the weakness of man. They're scared of anything they don't understand.
Yeah.
Even
Totally.
and I started taking it a little further, like even in the workplace, they're so afraid of women being better than them. They do what they do to hold women down.
Yeah.
So here,
I'm with you on that one.
So in this case, they created, they decided to kill the woman. Okay, in the workplace, they create, glass ceilings. But so this is this kind of thing. Sorry, I apologize, but this is the kind of things I started thinking when I was watching this movie. I just took it to a slightly different level, and I just didn't see it as a crappy movie. It just made me think even more. Yes, the movie had holes, and with the preacher, he drove me nuts as well. And I'm like, okay, what is your claim to fame here?
Yeah.
What are you about? I expected something a lot more from him that didn't materialize. He was looking for forgiveness. He was looking for a wash, but whatever. And there was something else. Unfortunately, I didn't write down the notes, but I got a little thing when I was, hearing everybody talking. Like, I got to defend this movie.
Yeah.
Somehow.
No, that's why we want to have the show. Is we want to hear people have different points of views, and your points is actually kind of got me thinking about what was it. Could it be trying to tell a different story? And
And I thought I loved the shots. I thought that was good. The cinematography was good in the show as well. I would love to see if they decide to bring a part 2. I hope it will be better and they could learn from their mistakes in part 1.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it cost them $100 million to make this movie, and so far it's made $21 million. So, for a part 2 happening, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's also a bad time though right now with COVID and everything for anything to make money, really, right?
Yeah, right. So
It didn't stop them from immediately greenlighting a third Wonder Woman in that movie.
Oh God.
Oh my God. Hey, I had a soft play on it. So and
when you get the books, Roger, and read them in Chaos Walking, let me know if for some reason they explain why the mayor apprentice hated women so much that he had to kill them. Was it because he couldn't control them, or is there an underlying reason that wasn't revealed in this movie, but it's revealed in the books? I'm just curious about that.
I will, and I thought it was neat that the other settlement was ran by women. That has to have something to do deeper in the book. So I'm looking forward to the books. I really am.
Sorry to interrupt you, Dalton.
Yeah, Dalton. Sorry.
Oh no worries.
Right.
That brought up another point, because in the other settlement too, I was just thinking, you guys had all this time away, and you didn't train the men how to try to stop their noise. evolve yourselves
Mm-hmm.
to protect yourself from another settlement that's sort of close to you.
Yeah.
You know, so I thought the women were a little limited in that regard. You know, I'm thinking
Well,
of
I would,
Amazons.
Sorry to interrupt. I would just say, I would probably think it was impossible to stop the noise because it's your thoughts. Like, I don't
Well,
know
the
if anyone's
mayor
ever
did.
been able to. But
Remember
he
the
was still
mayor?
thinking
You didn't see.
something.
You didn't. He was, but you didn't see it.
Yeah, you only saw his thoughts when he wanted you to.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it would be like blank around him.
Yeah.
So
When they went to
he could
the
control.
when they went to the second village, they were like the men. They weren't thinking as much as what they were in the other one. Well, I don't know.
Maybe.
I was just thinking, though, it is hard to turn off your thoughts. Like your mind's always racing. So
It's constant.
Mm.
But anyway, that was it for that show.
Okay.
I enjoyed it regardless because it made me just think deeper.
Yeah. Good point, though.
And on the second beloved show, I just absolutely loved that show. It it brought tears to my eye. It was just very well done, and it's his whole life really. I mean, he was just a grump. He reminded me of Oscar and Felix, the Odd Couple. He was so grumpy, and that's why I kept telling my partner, "My God, he's so grumpy."
Mm-hmm.
But when he got the shovel from his workplace of 43 years, I would have told him, keep the shovel and shovel all that crap you just told me with it, So much of a goodbye ceremony. But he wasn't supposed to die at that time, the intersection of serendipity kept happening,
Mm-hmm.
And he just wasn't. And I loved how the kids kept calling him Grandpa all of a sudden. I thought it was wonderful. I can't add anything else to that show that hasn't already been said by this panel. It was well said by everybody. It was just a beautiful show. And I hate the fact that Tom Hanks has the rights to it. Because he could never, I don't think they can add anything to it. So.
Well, but you gotta think of this though. There's a lot of people that'll never watch this because it's a Swedish film, so they'll never see it. So maybe if he does a good job on it, maybe it will make people think about some things. Because I mean, I am a believer that things happen for reasons. I think that things happen for reasons, and I thought that this movie played into that. Everything happened for a reason, and this reason is for something later down the road that you're not ready, you don't know about yet, or you're not ready yet. So that's played in.
When Hanks does the remake, I mean, me personally, since I like the original version of a fan, I would love to see them get the guy who played Ove, maybe play the part of Runa, the guy who was in the wheelchair and had like a stroke. He doesn't talk. To me, as homage, to pay homage to this film as good as that would be a perfect pick to have him play that part. But it won't happen. But in my mind, I would like to see it happen.
I don't think
one of the white shirts.
I don't think the Ford versus Chevy jokes are going to be as funny as the Saab Volvo ones either.
Yeah.
True.
I'm just curious to see how they go around certain subjects. So I just thought it was a good film that everybody should see once.
But what's the chances of a remake of this with Tom Hanks?
He I mean, everything that I've read, he bought the rights to it, and he's running it through his production company, Playtone. And I there's right now,
maybe
I
he's going to direct it.
Filming. No, I mean, it's everything that what I've read is he's going to star in it, he's going to produce it, and it's going through his production company under the Playtone, which he does his movies under. So,
okay.
But I don't know.
It depends on how much they change the story.
Yeah, I mean that's what I just. After Roger said it, we were chatting in private back and forth, and I don't see how they'll bring out like the mass suicide attempts in the Americanized version. I think in today's climate that they'll try and whitewash over some of that. But I mean, anyways.
And
What's
Tom's a powerhouse. He got that gray, whatever that warship movie that we watched on here.
Yeah.
He got that made.
Oh.
He'll get
no,
this one
no.
made.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think that to me, I think if you look at parts in movies, if they produce this movie and they put it out and Tom Hanks plays as Ove, that is a contender for motion picture actor, leading actor role.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
if you pull the movie off well, you're right in line for leading leading actor for in a motion picture. To me, that's the thinking. He's like, why would he give it to someone else? Because if you do the movie well, boom, you're going to be right there on the night, and your name might be to win an Oscar. So
100% Oscar bait on this movie. 100%.
Interestingly, when I was searching for the movie, Tom Hanks came up on it. And I was like, oh no, I thought he didn't make the movie yet. But I clicked on it and the original movie came out.
yeah, it could be that it's like just part of the metadata now.
Yep.
So it's in the metadata. So when you do a search, a lot of times it's searching through that. So yeah, now Tom Hanks and this movie are tied together in the metadata. So when you search it,
Is it in production right now?
No,
Not yet.
okay,
No.
all right.
I mean, maybe he's waiting until he gets a little older. But I mean, what cracked me up is, to me, Ove looked, when he said he was 59, I'm like, fuck, I'm 57. I don't look that freaking bad. Jesus Christ. So, I mean, maybe Tom's waiting until he gets a little, maybe he's saving it in his back pocket till he gets a little older.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Obe looked like he was like 70.
yeah. But I mean, in the movie, he was only 59.
Yeah. I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
Oh.
And Swedes don't age.
No.
Swedes usually look younger than what they are.
All right. Well, let's go ahead. We're going to do a vote so that we can then pick for the movies for next week. So if you guys are in the side chat, we're going to do the first one. Ove was the first one. So we're going to do player pass, and we'll run through the panel for player pass for this one. And then we'll also, at the end of this vote here, we'll also announce, well, Andrew can post or say what the vote happened on Telegram. So this is for Ove. So if you're in the side chat, post player pass. I did hit everybody in this. Yeah, I did. All right. So I'm making sure I didn't skip somebody. So you got that. Daldum, play or pass on A Man Called Ove?
Play.
Play. Thank you. Eddie?
Super play.
Super play. Eddie pulled back out the super play. Nice, Eddie. The Beach.
Play.
Play. All right. Roger.
One of the best movies we reviewed so far. It's a play. Definite play.
Awesome. Nice to hear. Pen?
Play for sure.
Play. Good. Thank you. Blue?
I'm with Roger. This is one of the best movies we watched.
I thought Nebraska was one of the best movies we watched. Come
So
on now.
anyways, it's a play for me. Nice try, Todd.
I just trying. Well, I didn't pull it. It wasn't a Matthew McConaughey movie. All right, Andrew, what did you think?
Jesus.
Yeah, play from me as well.
And it's a play from me. And as I go through the people on the side chat, Jim, Patty, Diana, Tan, all of them are plays on this. Andrew, on the Telegram, what was the voting on that?
It was 100% play.
Wow.
I'm sure the beach will be thrilled.
Yeah, look at there. He went out swinging. That's a grand slam there. Yeah, nice.
Little Andrew must have picked that one.
Now, I spent all day trying to find a car seat for little Andrew. So when I go on my road trip, I can get in the HOV lane for little Andrew in the car seat.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So we got that. So thank you guys. And we'll start on the next movie, which is Chaos Walking. And so Chaos Walking. So and I forgot to mention at the beginning of the voting. So we do a thing like, could you recommend this? If you were to recommend this and you don't mind your name being on it to one of your friends, it's a play. If you would not want one of your friends to come back to you and say, I watched that movie and it sucked, that would be a pass. So we got Chaos Walking, side chat. You guys go ahead and vote. Daldum, you'd be first.
I'll give it a play, and they'll come back and say, "What
Yep.
shit did you make me watch?"
Well, hey, after your discussion, after some of the points you made, it's actually it again. I'd love to hear people's different takes on movies. It's a great way of thinking. Eddie,
No, it's a pass for you.
it's a pass. Da Beach.
It's a play.
Okay, all right. Roger.
Sci-fi fan, it's play for me.
All right. Penn.
Soft play.
Soft play. Okay. And Blue.
I'm a pass on that one.
Pass. Andrew.
I'm a pass because the story just wasn't. It had potential, but the story was boring.
Yeah.
And for me, I'll go with my vote in Telegram. I actually went with a play on this one. I liked the sci-fi-ish part. I felt like it had potential. Yeah, it would be like a soft play, but it just kind of fell short. But I feel like we're so limited.
It had potential, but it fell short. Is a pass. It's not a play. It's a pass.
Well, I could not change my vote on Telegram.
We're setting the bar pretty low for our
Telegram
friends.
says
If that's the case.
Telegram said he said play, so
I know I actually tried to change it, but I couldn't. So I went with I have to go with even though I went with it. So
just
looking over here.
Todd, and retract vote.
Okay, I'll try that. So yeah, if I could. I tried it, but all right. So we're going to talk about movies for next week. Now, Sharon said that she had some stuff going on with her family, so she wasn't sure if she was going to be able to join. So it will go to Penn. Am I correct, Andrew?
I just want to tell you that the poll results on the Telegram for that last movie.
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's surprisingly was 62% play for Chaos Walking. So. Both plays, I guess, in the Telegram for both movies.
And hey, you're able to actually see. Remember when we on Wonder Woman, we were like, who actually said play? Yeah. And now on Telegram,
so I'm judging all these people. I'll be
I'm judging. I'm judging you. So yeah, I got to change my vote on that one, but that's all right. So our pick for next week. So Andrew, on the current movie. So. What movie has the most votes?
We've got Courier 22. Nobody 11%. Courier 22%, and Mortal Kombat has got 67%.
Woohoo!
So,
it looks like Mortal Kombat.
And and to me, I do want to see Mortal Kombat, but video games that are turned into movies 9 times out of 10 are crap. So
did you watch the first 7 minutes there? Because it doesn't look like crap.
Nope, I don't care. No, it still doesn't. They have bad track record, and I don't.
You know what, honey? That's probably a good thing.
But I will say this: you did vote for it.
I did, because I said, I'm gonna go with it, and I'll go with it, because it's just interesting looking, but I don't have a lot of faith in it. I would like.
Well, that's probably a good way to go into it, because then you're not. Usually, if you go in excited, you're disappointed, and then usually when you go in expecting nothing, you're happy with it.
Watch the original first.
No. Oh yeah, totally. That's a really good idea, because it's garbage.
Oh, I liked it, mate. It's a good B movie.
So, oops. All right. So I done messed up my phone because swiping. Now I got archived chats. Okay.
Oh my god! And I just thought about that. Raiden was friggin' what's his name there from Highlander. In this one, he's an actual Asian gentleman.
Yeah. And this one
I do like the video. I like the video game, so we'll see.
Get over here.
Yeah, I was cool when he said that in the trailer.
Uh-huh.
Man, he got judged.
That was Todd's pickup line to me.
Raiden Raiden
I don't know if that was it, but
Get over here.
well, yeah, we'll go with that one.
No, no, I was going to say something else, but I'll leave it. I was just going to say at the end of the night, you was like, finish him.
I like how you just said, I was going to say, but I'm not going to, and then you just said it.
Yeah, because it is too funny, though.
I thought it was
is
too
good.
funny to see.
That's too good. It was perfect timing. All right, so we got that. So those are the movies we've got.
Sorry, I missed whose movie was it?
Oh, Penn.
Pen.
And what did he pick?
Yeah.
I know he hasn't picked yet.
No, he hasn't picked it.
Right back.
We
All
got
right,
carried
I'm
away.
getting dinner.
2014 Equalizer by Denzel.
Oh, good movie.
Of course, Denzel.
Although it's hard to find a bad Denzel movie.
Well, we did not long ago.
He was still good in it. He was still good in it.
He was good, but the movie wasn't.
Yeah, I agree.
So this is the movie 2014 Equalizer, Denzel Washington. This has been a while since I've seen this, so it'll be a, 6 years back, 7 years back, so it'll be interesting. But great movie when I watched it before.
We're all on the panel pretty much of an age where we probably grew up watching The Equalizer on TV, and he was an old British dude.
Yeah. Old British
Not
white
me.
guy.
Nah,
Yeah.
before your time, Andrew.
This was before your time. Yeah.
All of us, except for Andrew.
And Pen.
That's true. Penn's a baby, too.
So that's our movie.
Baby.
So that's our movie. That's Penn's pick. Thank you, Penn, for picking that, and we'll just we'll move Sharon back. Sorry, Sharon, we should be back one more week, so she has next week to pick her movie, and we've got let's see, her, and then Roger. Because
I had my pick.
Yeah, he picked the worst movie ever. You got to teach with the best.
I still say I got more upvotes than Child 44 did.
We set the bar low here.
Yeah, but like last week, you said it was supposed to be Penn, me, and no, it's supposed to be Sharon, me, and Penn.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry, Eddie.
No, it doesn't matter. I'll mess up next week,
So now you got if Sharon doesn't show up next week, you'll have even one more week. So you got either 1 week or 2 weeks to decide your last movie. So
already got it.
All right, he's already got it. It's going to be musical. We know that.
Oh yeah.
All right, we know that it'll be a musical.
I got 3 musicals.
Oh jeez. Hopefully it's Pink Floyd The Wall. So so we got that. We'll go ahead and roll up out of here because we're at about an hour and a half, so a little bit longer than we're trying to narrow it down. So once we get through everybody's personal picks, then we'll be just current movies, and that's what our hope is it'll be a current movie each week, and we'll kind of keep it consolidated. So Daldum, thanks for joining the show. Anything you'd like to say or comments or before we leave?
No, just thank you very much for having me, and I appreciate it. Cheers.
Yep. Well, thank you for coming on here. Always giving encouragement, like for people to join the panel, new people. You're always in the side chat. You've hit me up on Telegram. So thank you for watching and hanging with us. And again, it's not so bad getting in the water here and actually talking.
Getting wet.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrew, for pulling me in.
Yes, I was going to take credit for you coming in.
That's awesome. Awesome. Eddie, anything you want to say before we go?
Bad.
No, everybody, please keep safe. It's starting to get really rough over here. I don't know what it's like in the States, but it's starting to get rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my shot today.
What do you get, Pfizer?
I got Moderna.
Okay,
Oh, you're lucky.
lucky. I got Pfizer.
I think
Anyway.
Pfizer and Moderna are both good. I just didn't want to get AstraZeneca
Nobody does.
Or Johnson and Johnson.
or Johnson
Yeah.
and Johnson.
Yeah.
Dub Beach, anything you want to say before we go?
I'm glad everybody liked those, so that way if I die in a fiery car accident on my trip, I'll be remembered by having a great movie. So if you don't see me in about a month and a half, then I'm dead.
Oh,
So, thanks for letting me on the show. So No, I mean coming on and joining this and coming on as so I could pick a movie like Ove, so everybody could watch it. So thanks for letting me come on. Thanks to you guys for doing this show and letting us come on and make picks, and so we can see movies that we've never seen before, whether we like them or not. So there you go.
Roger.
Coming from the big fat onion.
Whether we like him or not, Roger.
Roger, anything you want to say before we go?
Well, thanks for having me on. That's about it. You know, I always have fun on here.
It's good times.
Mm-hmm.
Pin.
No, yeah. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the show. Always nice being on the panel, discuss the content for the week, and stay tuned. And look forward to next week.
And again, I will mention, since Penn just spoke, follow him on YouTube. He actually just did a video today teaching people how to set up Samba on the PC and sharing folders. So he does a lot of content, the content creator, but he's trying to always teach. So he's a person that you could follow and learn some stuff from. So again, check out his channel. Blue.
Appreciate it.
Peace out. Get the vaccine. Wear a mask, motherfuckers.
Okay. Mr. Andrew.
Bye.
Wow. Oh, my longtime friend. Long time friend. Been around forever, him and I. So thanks for everybody joining the show. And again, I'm thrilled that Andrew got Daldum to join the show. And we want to have the show. It's great to have DeBeach and Roger, the different people that jump, and Eddie that's never been on anything. Penn he's done a little bit of YouTube or been on shows. So not to exclude him, but having people on that have no idea or never done this before, that's what this is about, is to getting people to get the encouragement and just jump on and to be able to discuss movies, because you can't be wrong. It's your opinion. You like the movie, didn't like the movie. So there's not a right or wrong, and I think it's fun. I loved Aldum. I loved your take on the movie, on Chaos Walking. Great way of looking at a little bit differently, and that's what we like about this show. What are our two movies for next week is Mortal Kombat and The Equalizer. So those are the two movies. Thank you guys for voting. We'll be doing a show on Friday. Thoughts and prayers out to Alban. Hope you're watching, bud, and hit us up on Telegram. Yep, miss you, and maybe we'll see him on Friday. And as always, play or pass. We'll see y'all Friday. Thanks for joining.